Ben Simmons was once looked at as the next LeBron James. The number one pick coming out of LSU, he was a great player. He showed confidence and showed great defensive skills, and NBA executives and GMs thought that eventually the scoring would come. And in his first year, he averaged about 16 points, doing the same thing in his second year. But slowly but surely, his stats have tailed off, and he's become a bench player who doesn't even play at the end of games now. He went from being a promising star to now being looked at as one of the worst contracts in the NBA. But what really happened to Ben Simmons? Ben Simmons missed his entire first year in the NBA due to an injury. But in his second year, considered his rookie year, he won the Rookie of the Year, beating out guys like Donovan Mitchell, even though Donovan Mitchell was really in his first year in the NBA. And this is where problems started to arise, where Donovan Mitchell already started talking trash about, oh, he wasn't really a rookie, and Ben Simmons kind of took offense to that and didn't really like that, and he felt like it was kind of a personal attack towards him. And as we'll talk about through this video, Ben Simmons has very soft skin, and he's afraid to be wrong. He's afraid for people to tell him that he's not that good, and that's part of the reason why he's really fell off as a player is his confidence. Confidence is half the game in basketball. If you don't think you're going to make a shot, you probably won't. This is a small thing, though. Problems really didn't start to arise until the 2020-2021 playoffs, where Ben Simmons seemed unplayable against the Atlanta Hawks. There's one clip in particular where Ben Simmons has a wide-open layup, but he ends up passing it to Matisse Thybulle, who gets fouled. This was really when problems were put under a microscope, as Ben Simmons felt personally attacked by Philly fans and his teammates, even though he was just trying to play his best. This led to him sit out the entire 2021-2022 season. At the trade deadline, he was traded to the Brooklyn Nets in a trade that involved James Harden. Ben Simmons decided not to play the rest of the year, which definitely took a toll on some of his new teammates. A team that got swept in the first round of the playoffs against Boston really could have used Ben Simmons' defense, and they were looking for him to at least try and play through his so-called injury. He did have a back injury. There's some reports that he just didn't want to play, or he wasn't feeling ready, to just put it on the line for one game, but his teammates definitely took offense to that, and it took him a while to get their trust back. Even this year, he's been sitting out games randomly, and there's a clip from a couple of days ago of Jacque Vaughn rolling his eyes when Ben's out with left knee soreness, and it almost feels like if he's not being able to play at his best, he doesn't want to play at all. He's afraid from the public scrutiny of when he misses free throws and when he misses shots, and that's a problem. We saw guys like Kevin Durant have burners accounts when people would talk trash to him, and even just stuff like that. Even though it's soft, it at least gives Kevin Durant some type of mental clarity, knowing that he can fire back at the fans. And we see Ben Simmons just kind of take it on the chin, and it works out for the worst because he takes it all on himself, and it ends up hurting him more than helping him. It's not every day that we see all-stars turn into bona fide scrubs who don't even play in the fourth quarter. Another problem is Ben's offensive aggressiveness. He went from taking 12.3 field goal attempts a game in his rookie year to 10.1 in his 2020-2021 season, even though he still ended up being an all-star. But this year we're seeing him take the least amount of shots in his career at 6 shot attempts a game. Now, he is on a better team with more scores, but at the same time, he's not being aggressive at all. There's teams like Memphis that chose not even to guard him, and even though he has shown flashes of being the old Ben Simmons, it hasn't been consistent, and we see games where he puts up 4 points, 2 points, and he lets his teammates down because when he's not a threat to score the ball, they don't have to guard him, and they can focus more on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. It felt like every summer Ben Simmons and Giannis Antetokounmpo had the exact same problem. It was once they were able to shoot threes, oh my gosh, they'll be unguardable. And as we saw, Giannis took that on the chin and said, well, I'm going to not be able to shoot threes, but I'm still going to attack the basket, and I'm going to work on my free throws and become a better player all around. And it felt like Ben Simmons was like, well, if I can't make threes, then everyone's going to make fun of me. And then his confidence just slowly but surely worsened, and it felt like he lost his love of the game, which I think is the complete problem. I just don't believe he enjoys playing as much as he did. When he was younger, he was always the best player. He didn't have to worry about getting better as much and improving because he was so much bigger, faster, and stronger than everyone else around him. Now that he's in the NBA, he has athletes that are just as big, as fast, and as strong. And now it has become to affect his mental health, which is part of the reason why he sat out last year. Now, mental health is definitely something Ben Simmons has dealt with. It's not a problem to look lightly as, but it's definitely affected his confidence on the court. You can see it as his shot attempts per game has cut in half. His points per game has cut his half. He's even having the worst defensive season of his career. And it's all because of his confidence. If he would believe that he could be a great player, I truly believe that he would be a better player than he is today. If he was taking 15 shots a game, he would probably be averaging 18 points. Because he's 6'10", he's strong, he's athletic. He's an athletic monster. And he needs to take more control of his life if he really wants to turn things around. And the Brooklyn Nets definitely need his production. Ever since KD has been out, the Brooklyn Nets have been struggling to find scoring. And guys like Nicholas Claxton have definitely stepped up. But as we've seen, Ben Simmons has basically tailed off and maybe even become a worse player. I would not be surprised to see Ben Simmons get traded at this NBA trade deadline, as the Brooklyn Nets need cap space this offseason to re-sign Kyrie to keep Kevin Durant happy. It'll be interesting to see over the course of his career if Ben Simmons can ever get back to his all-star level. He's only 25 years old, so don't be surprised if he surprises us all and gets back to that form where he was in Philly.